Jimin's point of view. Jimin, why are you doing this to me? I muttered with a yawn, watching my mother buzz around in my room like a busy bee. She handed me another pair of shirts, and I sighed, dropping my head onto the pile of clothes in my lap. Just a month before, I had the time of my life. Didn't know the price would be this heavy to pay. 3 weeks ago, I came to know I was going to become a father. And no, I didn't have a girlfriend. Trust me, I was still happy about becoming a father. I did want a family like every other person. The mother of my child was a woman I claimed to dislike. Barely recovered from the shock, another bomb was dropped on me. I was getting married to the same woman, Kim Wyan, the epicenter of my thoughts. Be it her getting on my nerves, intriguing me in the best way, or leaving me in disbelief, she never left my mind. It took umpteenth protests, emotional blackmail, numerous plans from both sides, but none of my pleas or whines were paid any heed to. Our parents were hell bent on getting us married, and this unexpected pregnancy was cherry on top for them. So now there are just 2 days to go for the wedding ceremony. The past few weeks, my mother had squeezed me inside and out, draining me completely. Shopping, venue selection, guest lists, food menu, and whatnot. She and Wine's mother, the besties, and the masterminds behind this, were the most excited ones. And now it was freaking midnight, and my dear mother suddenly remembered she had to make some adjustments in my room to make sure my soon to be wife would be comfortable when she moved in with me. A smack on my head brought me back from my la la land. Mrs. Park, don't just sit useless, you dumb ass. Get up, help me arrange this. She muttered, and I groaned, reluctantly standing up and walking toward the closet to arrange it. Half of it was left empty for Ryan to put her things. Jimin, for the sake of God, woman, it's 1 a.m. in the night. You need to sleep and let me sleep too. I whined and immediately shut up, giving a nervous smile to my mother when she showed me her big eyes. You may be 3 or 30. Mother's eyes scare the shit out of everyone. Jimin, now don't look at me like that. I'm tired, Oma. I need to glow on my wedding day, and all I have got are dark circles. You didn't even let me talk to Ryan since the wedding was fixed. I needed to know how she was feeling. Yes, the mothers had forbidden any kind of interaction between me and my fiancé. The excuse, it's a tradition, under the fear they might run away to cancel this wedding. Mrs. Park, don't be dramatic, Jimin. And let you talk to her for what? So that you could manipulate Ryan and make some plan to cancel this marriage? You can't fool me. My jaw dropped at the accusation as she hung the last piece of cloth and shut the cupboard. She gave me a sarcastic smile, patted my head, and walked away. Jimin, wow. I sighed and walked to my bed, immediately plopping down. The moment my head hit the pillows, I sighed and drifted off to sleep. Time skip. Priest. Do you take Kim Wyan as your lawfully wedded wife and vow to stay by her side in sickness and health? Till death do you part? I sucked in a breath, gazing at Wyan, who had her gaze down. It still felt unreal. I was getting married. Jimin, I do, I whispered, as a small smile stretched on my lips. Though on the outside I was glad, on the inside I was worried as hell. I hope she's not regretting this. Wyan didn't look like Wyan to me. The fire in her eyes, dull. The spark in her, faded. She looked distant. Priest, do you take Park Jimin as your lawfully wedded husband and vow to stay by his side in sickness and health till death do you part? His voice snapped me back to reality as I waited for Wyan to respond. I held her hands, giving them a small squeeze, and she looked up at me, her face unreadable. Wyan, I do. Her voice cracked a little. It was heavy, and it made my heart ache in a way I couldn't name. Wyan is someone whom I have always seen shining. I never knew seeing her upset, which she tried her best to hide, would affect me so much. This moment, I vow to protect her with all I have. Priest, I declare you husband and wife. Now you may kiss each other. The priest blessed us, and I stepped ahead. Her shoulders were stiff. My hand slid around her waist, and she looked up at me. I didn't miss the way her breath hitched as I yanked her closer. Wine, not on the lips, Spark, she gritted, hissing under her breath, and it made me smirk. My wild cat wasn't completely lost after all. Good. I cannot imagine myself living without her constant threats. Jimin, it's not like I haven't tasted every inch of your skin before, Wildcat, I whispered, leaning down. The flush on her skin, adorable. The glare in her eyes, breathtaking. Pressing my thumb on her lips, I held her jaw and pecked her. I felt her clutch my suit jacket. Her breath slowed as she closed her eyes. I pulled back when the sound of applause reached my ears. Turning toward the crowd, we flashed the biggest smiles we could muster, and the cameras flashed from the media present there. I shook my head, seeing our parents rejoice like kids. Maybe they were right. Ryan and I could make this marriage work. The rest of the evening passed in a blur, greeting guests, relatives, posing for pictures, and having dinner. All of it was energy draining. It was dark when we left the venue, and the whole drive was silent as I drove toward home. Jimin, careful, let me help you, I muttered, frowning as Ryan tripped on the cobblestone pavement. I attempted to reach her to help her, as walking with the gown was a hassle, but to my surprise, she swatted my hand off and glared at me. Ryan, I don't need your help. I am perfectly capable of walking by myself. She hissed and started walking ahead, holding her gown in both her hands. I sighed, shaking my head. Guess we were still on square one. Jimin, I know you are, Wildcat, but it doesn't mean I'll let you trip and hurt yourself. I jogged up to her and she scoffed without even glancing at me. So stubborn. Ryan, wow, look at you being so caring. You don't need to be, just because I'm carrying your child. I gaped at her while she strutted away as fast as she could and walked inside the house. Now, where did that accusation even come from? Guess it's going to take a long time to pacify her. Praying while looking at heavenwards to give me strength, I followed her in. Author's point of view. Jimin. What the hell? He muttered, entering his, now their bedroom. Ryan's heels were thrown haphazardly near the doorstep, her wedding gown tossed on the couch. The vanity was messy with her accessories, and in the middle of the bed, there lay his newly wedded wife, fast asleep. He had gone for like 20 minutes to make a call. Guess the busy day did take a toll on her. Sighing, he crouched down to pick up her heels. Keeping them in place, he kept away her wedding gown and arranged the vanity. His face softened as he sat on the bed and observed her sleeping face. Jimin, how can someone look so peaceful while sleeping and be such a chaos when awake? You're something, Wildcat. He chuckled softly. His voice was a hushed whisper as he tucked a strand of her hair behind her ears. He didn't know how his behavior had changed so much. She still got on his nerves, still made him want to pull his hair out by sheer amount of frustration. But the urge to always protect her has intensified tenfold when he got to know she was carrying his child. At the thought of the baby, his gaze fell on her belly. I'm going to be a father. It all felt too real now. Eyeing her sleeping face once, he lifted his hand and slightly placed it on her abdomen, feeling the tiny bump. His breath hitched, and a pang went through his heart. It was an indescribable feeling, as if the universe had placed all the happiness in the world in his hands. With a smile, he leaned down and placed a soft kiss on her abdomen. Jimin, hey there, baby. It's your dad here. Sleep well. He froze as Wyan shifted a little. Leaning back, he sighed in relief as he saw her still asleep. She would kill him if she were awake now. Her angry bird face flashed before his eyes, making him smile. Leaning close to her, he placed a soft kiss on her temple and stood up from the bed. Jimin, sleep well, Wildcat. Tucking her in the covers, he walked into the bathroom to have a nice warm shower. Coming back after some time, he lay beside her. He didn't know when sleep claimed him while he was peacefully staring at her sleeping face. Vine walked into the kitchen, still half asleep. Her hair was messy, ruffled, drool marks on her cheek. She looked like an infant who had just woken up from a nap. It had taken her few minutes to process when she had woken up that she was married. She was in her husband's home now, with her in-laws, because the bedroom had felt unfamiliar. Jimin, look who decided to bless the world by waking up. She paused at the threshold, squinting her eyes. It took her a few minutes to completely open her eyes. When she did, they morphed into a glare. Vine, look who decided to ruin my morning, she muttered, her voice still raspy from sleep. Jimin's breath hitched as he took in her appearance closely. She looked so domestic, so soft, pair of loose sweats, bare face, so unfiltered, so his. Jimin, afternoon. It's lunchtime. Uma and Appa have already eaten. Only you are left. Come on, sit and eat. He was unbothered by her sarcasm. A small smile was stretched on his lips. He was liking the new change in him around her. Vine, I'm not your dog, she sassed, crossing her arms, and he sighed, mentally rolling his eyes. Be gentle, Jimin. Stress is not good for her. However, he gave her a sweet smile and pulled out a chair for her, gesturing for her to sit. Jimin, my dear wife, the holy mother of our child, the prestigious lady of our house, the beloved daughter-in-law of my parents, please do the honor of taking a seat and having a meal. This peasant is always available for your service. He bowed dramatically, causing her to give him a side eye. Nevertheless, she took a seat and he placed a bowl in front of her. A spicy, fresh aroma filled the air from the hot, steaming bowl of kimchi jjigae. He placed the tteokbokki beside it, gesturing for her to eat, but frowned when she made a face instead. Did she not like it? Before he could ask her, she covered her nose and got up from the chair, stepping back a little. Vine, oh God, please take it away. It's making me nauseous. I don't want to throw up. He panicked and immediately took away the food, handing her a glass of water. Jimin, are you okay? What should I do? What do you want to eat? He probed, worry laced in his tone. She sat down again and shrugged, hiding her surprise at his concern. Vine, I think I can eat bibimbap, she muttered, unsure, and he nodded. He immediately started gathering ingredients to cook for her. She looked at him, surprised, as he prepared a meal for her, as if he has been doing it for years. Vine, I didn't know you could cook, she muttered, her eyes following his movements with curiosity and interest. He glanced up and shrugged, a small smile on his face. Her heart skipped a beat. That smile did something to her. It was soft, genuine, as if only reserved for her. Jimin, you don't know a lot of things about me, Wildcat. She didn't speak further and just watched him. Silence stretched between them, but it wasn't uncomfortable. Jimin, Tell me how it is. Is the smell okay for you? His big eyes followed her movements as she took the first bite. He could see her eyebrows raising in delight, but she composed herself just as quickly and gave him a thumbs up. He shook his head, knowing her stubborn behavior, but was glad she was eating heartily. Sitting across from her, he started to eat the dish he had served her earlier. She glanced at him and asked, before she could stop herself, "Why, you didn't eat. Why?" "Jimin, why? Are you worried about me?" He teased, and she rolled her eyes. Before he could speak, his mother entered the kitchen with a small smile on her face. She stopped beside Vian, placing her hand on her shoulder. "Mrs. Park, Vian, honey, did you sleep well? How are you feeling? Is the food good?" she probed, patting Vian's head. Vian bowed her head slightly, nodding. Swallowing her bite, she spoke. "Vian, yes, I did sleep well. I am feeling good, Aunt Oma." She quickly corrected herself as she saw a scowl forming on Mrs. Park's face. With a smile, Mrs. Park patted her cheek. Vian's heart warmed at her gesture. She has always treated her like her own daughter. "Mrs. Park, good. Make sure you finish everything. Tell Jimin if you need anything. He was waiting for you to wake up so that you could eat together. I'll leave you now. Join me and your appa in the backyard later." Vian nodded at her. She walked away, giving them a last smile. Her words made Vian glance at Jimin, whose ears were pink as he avoided looking at her. Her head was filled with countless questions, but she chose to keep quiet and have her meal in peace. Why would he do that? Did he genuinely care about her, or was it just because she didn't know what will this marriage bring for her, but she hoped for the best? After lunch, as told, she went in the backyard to spend some time with her in-laws. Jimin joined them sometime later. The late afternoon was spent playing games, chit-chatting, and most of the time Mrs. Park roasting her own son. Vian enjoyed the dynamic the most. It was always fun to team up against him and watch him sulk.